My wife said she was at spin class. But she was actually with a coworker doing things you shouldn't do without pants. I found out everything through her iPad. Part 1, The Calm Before the Chaos. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. Hey Reddit. I never thought I'd be that guy typing out his broken heart at 2:43 in the morning, but here I am, staring at a half-empty whiskey glass and a marriage that's probably beyond saving. I'm a 34-year-old dude married to my wife, 33F, for going on 7 years, and we've been together for almost a decade. No kids, just 2 dogs and a condo we've been trying to renovate since 2021. Our relationship wasn't perfect, no one's is, but it was solid. We had that sarcastic, playful vibe going on. I'm more introverted, she's more fiery, type A, social butterfly with a flair for drama and perfectly winged eyeliner. We used to joke that she was the chaos and I was the calm. And maybe that was true. Until the chaos turned into secrets. The first time I noticed something was off, it was small. Stupid even. She started locking her phone. We'd always been chill about that stuff. She'd scroll through Instagram while I drove. I'd text her mom if she was cooking. But suddenly she had a password. She said it was because she was dealing with a super annoying coworker and didn't want me to see his dumb messages and make a thing out of it. I didn't love the explanation, but I let it go. God, I wish I hadn't. Part 2, Cracks in the Surface. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. So yeah, the locked phone thing bothered me, but I didn't want to be that guy, the one who's snooping or accusing without proof. Trust has to mean something, right? But once you spot a crack, it's hard to unsee it. You start noticing more. She started going out more. Girls' night, work dinner, just need to blow off some steam. Okay, fair. She's always been more social than me. But it wasn't just the frequency, it was the prep. Suddenly she was dressing like she was going to a casting call for The Bachelor. Heels, tight dresses she hadn't worn in years, lipstick I'd never seen before. One night she came back around 1 a.m., perfume still fresh, giggling at some inside joke she wouldn't explain. I asked her if she had fun and she just said, "Don't be clingy, babe. Not everything is about you." That stung. She started sleeping with her phone under her pillow. Who does that? When I asked, she snapped, "Why are you being so controlling lately?" I backed off. Gaslighting 101, I know that now. But in the moment I felt guilty for even asking. Then came the late-night texts. Her screen would light up at 11:42 p.m., 12:10 a.m., and always some generic name like Sam from HR or Ashley Yoga. And she'd flip her phone over like it was muscle memory. If I asked who it was, she'd scoff and go, "Ugh, seriously? You're acting so insecure lately." And honestly, I started to believe her. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was paranoid. But I wasn't. I was being played. And I was about to find out just how badly. Part 3, The Smoking Gun. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. Alright, so here's where everything just nosedives into hell. It was a Thursday. I remember because she always had spin class on Thursdays. She left around 6:30 p.m., said she might grab smoothies with Chloe and the girls after. Cool, whatever. I was working late from home, doing spreadsheets and trying not to spiral into jealousy like some emotionally stunted teenager. Around 8:15 I got up to make coffee. Her iPad was on the kitchen counter, screen lit up. I wasn't snooping, I swear, at least not at first. But then a message popped up on the screen from someone named T. Just a first initial. That already had my gut twisting. The message said, "Last night was unreal. Still thinking about your thighs around my head, lol." I froze. Just full body static. I didn't want to believe what I read, so I reread it like 5 more times, hoping the words would rearrange into something innocent. They didn't. She was still logged into iMessage. I clicked. I shouldn't have, but I had to. It was a full-blown affair. Flirty texts, nudes, yep, nudes, hotel meetups, little jokes about how clueless I was. They even had a nickname for me, Mr. Snooze. Cute, right? I scrolled until my hands were shaking too hard to keep going. It had been going on for at least 3 months. Maybe more. The worst part? There was a message from her that said, "He's so boring lately. Like talking to wallpaper. Don't worry, he'll never find out." That one broke something in me. Part 4, Confrontation in Real Time. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. So after reading that last message, I just sat there. Completely numb. I don't even remember how long. My heart was racing, my brain was trying to process 100 things at once, but my body wouldn't move. I think I was waiting to feel angry. But all I felt was hollow. Then it hit me, she wasn't even at spin class. She was probably with him. And I was just sitting there like an idiot, letting her lie straight to my face. So I did something completely out of character for me. I drove to the spin studio. And guess what? Dark. Closed. Not a single soul there. I called her. No answer. Texted. "Hey, spin class end early?" No reply. So I waited in the car. 20 minutes. 30. At 9:23, she finally texted back. "Still here? Super sweaty, lol. You okay? LMAO. I had just been there. I stared at that message and something inside me snapped. So I wrote back. Funny. I just swung by. Didn't see your car? 3 dots popped up, then disappeared. Nothing for 5 minutes. Then she finally called. I picked up. Her voice? All fake shock and defensive attitude. Why were you spying on me? That's so controlling. What the hell is wrong with you? I didn't yell. I didn't even raise my voice. I just said I saw the messages, her name. I know. I know everything. Silence. Then she laughed. This short, dry little laugh like she couldn't believe I had the audacity to confront her. And she says, wow. So now you're snooping through my stuff? Guess we're both guilty. Guilty? She really tried to spin it like we were equally wrong. I hung up. Didn't say another word. And the silence after that was somehow louder than the whole conversation. Part 5, The Return of the Villain. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. She came home around 11 p.m. No apology. No tears. No remorse. Just walked in like she was coming back from a jog. Tossed her gym bag down, kicked off her shoes, and gave me this look, not guilty, not even sheepish. More like annoyed, like I was the inconvenience here. I can't believe you went through my iPad, she said, arms crossed like she was scolding a toddler. That's such a violation of privacy. I didn't even know what to say at first. I just stared at her. Everything in me wanted to scream, you violated our entire marriage, but the words didn't come out. I asked her, as calmly as I could, how long has this been going on? She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes. Don't be dramatic. It's not even like that. I said, I read the messages. Hotel names. Dates. The pictures. It is like that. And then she goes, okay, fine. A few months. But it didn't mean anything. You've been so distant lately. What did you expect? Boom. There it was. The shift. Her cheating was now my fault. Because I didn't entertain her enough. Because I wasn't exciting enough. I asked, so sleeping with someone else was your solution? She shrugged. It was a distraction. I didn't think you'd actually find out. That sentence will haunt me forever. I didn't think you'd find out. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I regret it. Just that she thought she could get away with it. She didn't even cry. No emotion. Like I was just another problem to be handled. She said, can we just talk about this tomorrow? I'm tired. And with that, she walked into the bedroom and closed the door behind her. Part 6, Sleeping Next to a Stranger. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. So yeah, she just went to bed. I stayed on the couch, sitting in the dark like some ghost haunting his own house. I could hear her in the bedroom, drawers opening, closet sliding shut, the soft click of her charger going into the wall. Also casual. Like she hadn't just detonated a bomb in the middle of our lives. I didn't sleep. Not even a little. My mind was racing, replaying everything. Every late night, every girls' trip, every argument I brushed off. The dots were all there. I just didn't want to connect them. Around 4 a.m. I finally walked into the bedroom. She was sleeping. Peacefully. Like nothing happened. I stood there for a minute. Just looked at her. This woman I had loved, really loved, for almost a decade. I used to know everything about her. Now I didn't even know who the hell I was looking at. I laid down next to her, but I didn't get under the covers. Just laid on top, fully clothed, staring at the ceiling. I didn't want to be near her, but I also didn't want her to think I was giving her the bed. Dumb, I know. But it felt like the last shred of control I had. Around 6:30 she got up. Didn't say a word. Just grabbed her phone, bathroom, coffee, routine as hell. She acted like I wasn't even there. Eventually she said, I have a meeting at 9. We'll talk tonight, okay? I said nothing. And she just left. I sat there wondering if she was going to see him. If this meeting was just another lie. Honestly, at this point, I assume everything that comes out of her mouth is fiction. And that's when it really hit me. The person I married is gone. Or maybe she was never really there. Part 7, The Fallout Begins. Posted by you/throw_as_dandone. After she left, I called in sick. There was no way I could pretend to be a functioning adult after that level of emotional car crash. I just sat in the kitchen for what felt like hours, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do now. I wanted to call someone. My brother, my best friend, anyone. But I couldn't even get the words out loud. I was embarrassed, humiliated. Like this whole thing was a reflection of some failure on my part. Which is ridiculous, I know that now, but in the moment, it felt like I was the punchline to some cosmic joke. Then came the rage. I started pacing the condo, opening drawers, looking for anything else. Any shred of honesty or lies or whatever. Her gym bag was still on the floor, so I opened it. Inside, not gym clothes, a dress, black tight, definitely not spin class attire, a hotel keycard, and a receipt for 2 drinks and an appetizer at a rooftop bar downtown. Time-stamped during one of her supposed late work nights. I took photos of everything. Started documenting. Not sure why. Maybe because I knew I'd need proof if things got uglier. Maybe because a part of me needed to see it, to force the truth out of the shadows. At some point I ended up back on her iPad, rereading the messages. This guy, T, he wasn't just a random hookup. He was emotionally involved. They had pet names, inside jokes. She sent him memes. He sent her Spotify playlists. They had a little bubble world where I didn't exist. That hurt more than the sex, honestly. The intimacy she gave him. I'd been sleeping next to a woman who was living a double life, and she didn't even have the decency to pretend to feel bad about it. Part 8. Unmasking the Affair. Posted by u/Throre_Desidandone. So here's where things started spiraling fast. After stewing in my own anger all day, I decided to dig deeper. Not just into her lies, but him. T. The mystery man. I had a phone number from the messages on her iPad, and yeah, I know I probably crossed some lines, but at this point, the lines had already been trampled. Reverse searched the number. Got a name, a LinkedIn profile, and then boom, the full picture came into view. He wasn't some stranger off a dating app. He was her coworker, one I'd actually met, twice. He'd come to our housewarming 2 years ago. I shook his hand. We split a six-pack on the balcony. He complimented my record collection and asked me if I still played guitar. That guy. The fucking nerve of them both. So now I'm seeing all the signs in HD. He was T from marketing. He's tagged in her old Instagram posts from work events. I even found a picture of the two of them at some corporate retreat back in December. She told me it was boring AF. But they looked pretty cozy to me. I texted her. Just one line. You cheated on me with him? After everything. She didn't respond for 2 hours. When she finally did, it was classic deflection. Can we please not do this over text? This is so immature. Immature. Cheating on your husband and lying for months? Totally reasonable. Confronting you over it in writing? Immature. I felt like I was living in some twisted sitcom where the villain never breaks character. She had zero shame. Zero empathy. Just this wall of sarcasm and superiority like I was the unreasonable one. I couldn't take it anymore. I started packing a bag. Part 9, The Breakdown Before the Breakthrough. Posted by u/Throre_Desidandone. I threw clothes into my old duffel bag like a man possessed. No plan. No destination. Just pure instinct screaming get. Every drawer I opened reminded me of her. Her voice. Her lies. The cologne she bought me last Christmas that suddenly smelled like mockery. Our wedding photo was still on the dresser. She was beaming, and I looked like I just won the lottery. Joke's on me, right? Right as I was zipping the bag, she walked through the door. She stopped mid-step when she saw me, like she didn't expect to see any real consequences. Like maybe she thought I'd just sulk, cry, and move on like always. What are you doing? She asked, her tone flat. I'm leaving, I said. She scoffed. Oh my God. You're being so dramatic. Can we just talk like adults? That's when I lost it. Not yelling, not throwing things. Just this deep, shaking fury that came out quiet and deadly calm. I said, you cheated. You lied. You mocked me behind my back. What part of this do you think deserves a rational conversation? She started with the fake tears then. And I swear to God, it was like watching a bad audition. No real emotion, just enough sobbing to say she tried. She said, I didn't mean to hurt you. Okay? I was just lonely. You don't see me anymore. And there it was again, my fault. Somehow me not seeing her justified her inviting some other dude into our life, into our bedroom, even if not literally. I said, you know what's funny? You always made me feel like I wasn't enough. And the whole time, you were the one giving pieces of yourself to someone else. She didn't respond. She just stood there, sniffling, trying to come up with her next excuse. And I walked past her. No dramatic goodbye. No hugging the dogs. I left. Part 10, Crashing at Rock Bottom. Posted by u/Throre_Desidandone. I ended up at my brother's place. He opened the door, saw my face, and just went, oh shit. Didn't even need to ask, he knew. I guess I looked like someone who'd just been emotionally mugged and dragged through the dirt. I told him everything. Every ugly detail. He sat there, listening, jaw tightening more and more with each part. When I got to the hotel keycard and the thighs around my head text, he actually stood up and said, you want me to go punch this dude in the throat right now? I laughed. First time I'd laughed in 2 days. It felt awful. We sat on his balcony till 2 a.m. passing a bottle of Jameson and not saying much after a while. It was just this heavy silence with little explosions in my brain every few minutes. I kept remembering tiny things, the way she used to say, I love you before she left for work. The way she'd rest her hand on my chest when we watched TV. The fights we had over stupid shit like tile patterns for the kitchen, all while she was sneaking off to someone else. I felt like my whole reality was a simulation glitching out. Nothing made sense anymore. Like the life I'd been living was just some facade she helped paint over the cracks. The next morning, I woke up on his couch with a hangover and a decision sitting heavy on my chest. I couldn't go back. Not even to talk. Not even for closure. Because closure isn't something she could give me. And honestly, I didn't want to hear another lie disguised as an explanation. I texted her. I'll come by this weekend to grab my things. I'll let you know when. She replied almost instantly. So that's it? After everything? Yeah, that was it. Because everything turned out to be a lie. Part 11, Friends Start Picking Sides. Posted by you/throw_array_azadandone. Word started spreading fast. Apparently when one person nukes a marriage with a side of hotel keys and lies, the social fallout hits like shrapnel. I didn't post anything online or go on some revenge tour. I'm not that guy. But I did tell a few close friends what happened and, surprise, surprise, she told her version too. Her version? I was unhappy. He was distant. I made a mistake. A mistake that lasted months, had pet names, nudes, and room service. Some people bought it. Or at least pretended to. That hurt more than I expected. There were friends, mutual ones, who started going quiet on me. People I had invited to my wedding. People who knew me, who'd seen how hard I tried for that relationship. One of her friends actually had the balls to DM me on Instagram and say, "You should forgive her. She's going through a lot." Excuse me? She's going through a lot? Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with my heart in a blender trying to figure out how the hell my life unraveled over a guy who works in marketing and calls himself T on Instagram. Thankfully, my real ones showed up. My brother's been a rock. My best friend from college offered me a spare room. One of my coworkers who barely talks outside of meetings brought me lunch and just sat with me in silence. You find out real fast who's actually in your corner when the mask slips off your partner and the truth starts dripping out like poison. And yeah, I blocked her. Not out of anger, but for survival. Every text from her felt like another mind game. I needed space. I needed me again. Part 12, Ghosts in the Condo. Posted by you/throw_array_azadandone. The weekend came and I went back to the condo. It was surreal walking in, like visiting the ruins of a place where someone used to be happy. Everything looked the same, but it all felt wrong. The couch where we binged Netflix, the kitchen island we argued over tile colors at, the stupid little live laugh love sign she insisted on hanging in the hallway, all of it felt like props in a play I didn't want to be in anymore. She wasn't there when I arrived. That was intentional. I asked her not to be. I couldn't stomach the fake tears again or listen to her try to spin the betrayal into some tragic self-help narrative. I moved fast. Grabbed my stuff, clothes, guitar, some books, my tools. Left behind the little things we'd bought together. I didn't want any of it. Every mug, every photo frame, every throw pillow felt tainted. Then I made the mistake of walking into the bedroom. Her perfume still hung in the air. The bed was made, which she never used to do, and on the nightstand was a small box with my name on it. Just a sticky note. Didn't know if you'd want this. Inside was my wedding ring. I hadn't even realized I wasn't wearing it. I stood there holding it, and for a second I don't even know why I missed her. Not the woman she was now, but the version of her I thought existed. The one I proposed to on that rainy weekend in Asheville. The one who cried during Pixar movies. The one who used to send me stupid cat memes when I had a bad day. But that woman doesn't exist. Maybe she never did. Maybe she was just a character she played well. I put the ring back in the box. Left it on the nightstand. Didn't take it with me. Part 13, The Shift. Posted by you/throw_array_azadandone. It's weird how fast life can tilt. Just a few weeks ago, I was a husband who thought he had a future, a plan, a person to grow old with. Now I'm a guy sleeping in his friend's spare room with 2 duffel bags, a ruined credit score. Turns out she opened a store card in my name without telling me. More on that mess later, and a ringless finger that feels both lighter and colder than it should. But something happened after I left the condo. I started feeling free. Not better. Not healed. But clearer. Like the fog finally lifted and I could breathe without trying to figure out if I was being lied to again. There was this moment 2 nights ago where I was just walking down the street near my friend's apartment, earbuds in, listening to music, and the sun was setting, and I realized I wasn't thinking about her. I was just there in the moment, watching the sky turn orange. And it hit me. She doesn't get to take everything from me. Not my peace. Not my future. Not who I am. I'm starting therapy next week. Already met with a lawyer. No kids, thank God, and we never fully merged finances, blessing in disguise. The divorce won't be clean, but it'll be final. That's enough. I've started writing again, something I used to love but hadn't touched in years. I even bought a new guitar. Just something cheap from Facebook Marketplace, but it felt like reclaiming a piece of me. And maybe, just maybe, I'll be okay. Not today. Not tomorrow. But soon. Part 14, Closure Isn't What You Think. Posted by you/throw_array_azadandone. So, she tried one last time. A couple days after I picked up my stuff, she emailed me. Subject line, please read this. And yeah, I opened it. Because I'm human. Because even after everything, some sick part of me still wanted an apology that felt real. Some sort of closure. It was 4 paragraphs of word salad. She said she was confused. That she loved us but also lost herself. That I pushed her away with my emotional distance. That she never meant to hurt me but also felt alive with him. She used that word, alive, like I was a walking coma. Like loving her quietly, supporting her goals, being dependable made me boring. Disposable. She ended with, I'll always care about you even if we're not together. I hope one day you'll understand. Understand what? That betrayal's okay as long as you're bored enough? I didn't reply. Because here's the thing, closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. It comes when you finally decide that their reasoning doesn't matter anymore. That their lies, their excuses, their warped version of events don't get to live rent-free in your head. She wanted forgiveness without accountability. Redemption without honesty. I don't owe her that. And I don't need her to understand me either. Because the only person I need to understand right now is myself. Part 15, What I Know Now. Posted by you/throw_array_azadandone. So here we are. The end of the story, at least the part that involves her. It's been a few weeks since I walked out of that condo and into whatever this next chapter is. Feels weird to say it, but I'm okay. Not great. Not healed. But okay in a way that feels solid, like the floor's not moving under me anymore. I've learned a few things I wish someone had told me before I ever doubted my gut. When something feels off, it probably is. That voice in the back of your head? The one you keep shoving down and telling to shut up? Listen to it. It's not paranoia. It's survival. Love isn't supposed to feel like proving your worth every damn day. I spent months blaming myself for her distance. Thinking if I just planned a better date night, wore a better shirt, said the right thing, she'd come back. That's not love. That's self-gaslighting. Loyalty to the wrong person will destroy you. I gave everything to someone who saw me as wallpaper. Steady, silent, forgettable. Never again. Closure is a myth. Healing is a choice. You don't need to hear, I'm sorry, to move on. Sometimes all you need is silence and a locked door. You are allowed to walk away from someone you once loved deeply. And you can grieve that person while still knowing they don't belong in your future. If you're reading this and you're in a relationship that feels like you're constantly begging to be seen, leave. If you feel like you're being lied to, dig. If they mock your pain, shift blame, or treat your trust like an inconvenience, run. I didn't deserve what happened to me. But I'm still here. And now? I'm not looking back. Thanks to everyone who stuck through this. Writing it out helped more than I expected. See you on the other side, Reddit. The end.